Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of edX Talks. We would be talking about his journey. जब AI लोगों को पता भी नहीं होता था. How did that start?
Within 10 months or so of doing that, I started realizing that this wasn't really that exciting to me. I know that in India, people are always worried about failures. And I want to suggest that there's nothing wrong with failing.
कि जो इंटरनेट बबल था वो 2003 में बर्स्ट हुआ एंड अभी के टाइम पे there's a lot of fears and a lot of theories कि AI भी बबल ही है.
I think the important thing there, and a very, very important lesson, is don't trust AI.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of edX Talks. और आज का जो episode है is going to be all about trends and what pleases हमारा GenZ the most, which is AI, data, ML, because I have the expert with me. आज मेरे साथ जो guest हैं, he has been in AI for almost 30 years or more than that. जब AI का gold rush start भी नहीं हुआ था. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarabjot Singh ji. You have taken out the time and come here to share your insights and expertise with us.
Not at all. It's a pleasure.
We would be talking about his journey और obviously हम मिस नहीं कर सकते जो AI का एस्पेक्ट्स है, जो करियर एंगल्स हैं, जो यंगस्टर्स इस फील्ड में जाना चाहते हैं एंड ऑल्सो अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस दैट वी हैव अबाउट इट बीइंग अ बबल, यू नो, इज इट गोइंग टू टेक जॉब्स एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. हम ट्राई करेंगे हम जितना भी एड्रेस कर सकते हैं. सो सर, कैन वी स्टार्ट?
Absolutely.
I would like to begin with your journey itself. जैसे कि मैंने अपनी ऑडियंस को ऑलरेडी बताया, you started 30 years back with AI. जब AI लोगों को पता भी नहीं होता था, you know, it was not a common mass thing, it was not a trendy thing. And जहाँ तक I know आप उसे अपने पैशन की तरह लेते हैं, like you call yourself the data geek as well. How did that start?
I think the only way to explain it is Rabdi Meher, right? Because after I finished my schooling here in Delhi in Borden School,
Okay.
I went on to do a maths degree
Okay.
in Hindu College, Delhi University. And I then went on, everybody was learning computing, right? So while I was doing my degree, I started a course at NIIT,
Okay.
as everybody at that age was doing.
Right.
And, after finishing my undergrad degree, I went to Pune University to start my master's in computer applications.
Okay.
But within a few months, I got admission into a university in the United Kingdom.
Oh wow.
Which was the Queen's University of Belfast. And I went there to do my master's, which was in engineering computation.
Okay.
So the use of computing in engineering applications.
Right.
And with God's grace, I topped in the master's.
Wow.
And so the professor who ran the master's said, hey, I have some funding, why don't you start a PhD? So my project that I had done during my master's was to do with figuring out how to put reinforcement within concrete slabs. It's an optimization mathematics problem. But as I'm sure you Gen Zs know, it sounds very boring, right? Just look at matha maar say against concrete. So within 10 months or so of doing that, I started realizing that this wasn't really that exciting to me.
Okay.
And, I know that in India, people are always worried about failures. And I want to suggest that there's nothing wrong with failing. Right. And I decided I'm going to give up my research position there and stop the PhD that I had started there. And I started looking for other jobs. And the job I got was at the other university in Northern Ireland, which is the University of Ulster. And as luck would have it, that research was in an area which is now called AI.
Okay.
So that's how I started.
Amazing. And how did that journey also came into the entrepreneurial picture? I know you are co-founder of Tatras Data, like a for-profit, और आपने not-for-profit organizations भी start की हैं. So how did the entrepreneurial angle come in between?
Actually, it's interesting. Even before Tatras Data, I started a company in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
We were, in fact, the first company in Northern Ireland to win the European Grand Prize for innovation in information technology.
Wow.
And unlike prizes that give you a certificate and a trophy. This actually came with 125,000 euros.
Oh, wow.
And this is back in 1999,
Yeah.
right? So we set up a business then using that as seed fund. And we had basically started to develop technologies even back in 1999 on personalization. Using machine learning and AI, right? So when you use Netflix today, you see these recommender systems recommending, hey, people who saw this also saw that.
Yeah.
Or in Spotify, right? You have
I think Amazon
people who
also,
listened.
people who buy this bought that.
Absolutely, right? And so that kind of technology we were building back in 1999.
Wow.
And now just to put that in perspective, do you know when Google started?
I think 1998.
1996,
1996,
right? So
okay.
this is like very early in the whole journey in AI, right? And we were developing this technology and supporting an algorithm that we had developed specifically for machine learning, which is a very important part of AI, that was being sold by IBM.
Okay.
Right, and before that, another company called SPSS that was acquired by IBM.
Okay.
Right across the world. So we were supporting them. We were building our own technology, and then in 2003, the internet bubble burst.
Yeah.
And so we sold our company and we went back to academia.
Okay.
Right? And so I stayed in academia for 8 years until when I decided I was going to come back to India.
Okay.
And when I came back to India, I thought, well, an academic lifestyle will not suit me. I need to afford to educate 3 children of mine and pay the bills. So I decided that I've got to do the switch again, go into industry, and I set up a company rather than take up the job that Citibank had offered me in machine learning and AI at the time in Bangalore.
You yourself said कि जो internet bubble था वो 2003 में burst हुआ, and अभी के time पे there's a lot of I would say fears and a lot of theories कि AI भी bubble ही है, but you've seen AI over 30 years. How has that evolution been, और क्या AI bubble है from your perspective? You're an expert in that.
So AI has gone through its own winters, right? There was a time when researchers were getting a lot of funding in America and the UK, and then the promise that they had of AI didn't deliver. So at that time, then funding dried up, and we call it an AI winter.
Right.
Even in 1993, when I started in the AI journey, in fact, it was called data mining at the time, right? And the IT industry has a great way of reinventing itself, right? So with every technology, in fact, you probably have learned this in business schools and so on, that you have this initial kind of hype around it, then it goes down when it doesn't deliver, and then it really kind of takes off, right? And I think in the late 1990s, people started to realize that AI, while it was interesting and there were applications, wasn't delivering the value that they expected.
Okay.
A lot of the work we were doing was restricted to proof of concepts, right, in business, and didn't really get into production. So at that point, it went down.
Okay.
Now we are on the rise again. I still feel that there is a lot to be done for AI to really add value, right? If we look at AI today, in 2022, November, when ChatGPT came out, everybody got really excited about it.
Right.
वो क्यों हुआ? What is the reason for it? Because we could speak to it in a language that was natural to us. हम उसके साथ हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं, पंजाबी में भी बात कर सकते हैं, इंग्लिश में भी बात कर सकते हैं, right? So everybody got very excited, and actually what was amazing about it was that it was able to generate content and answer our questions amazingly well. Now what that has created is a huge trust, especially within the Gen Zs, on AI. Right? And not surprisingly, right? Everybody believes that what comes out of AI is the gospel. So people have started outsourcing their thinking to AI. And we've already seen some young lawyers in America lose their jobs because they were given a job by a senior lawyer. They handed it over to AI to write this report. The report that was generated was passed on by them without really validating to the senior lawyer. The senior lawyer then thought junior lawyer should know what they're doing. They must have validated it, didn't have the time, passed it on to the judge. And when the judge looked at the report, they said, all of your citations on previous cases, which is what you typically create your case on, are incorrect. They don't exist, right? And so, of course, the senior lawyer was fine because he fired the junior lawyer, right? But, I think the important thing there, and a very, very important lesson, is don't trust AI, right? When you see OpenAI is currently valued at 830 something billion, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because here's a technology which is not perfect. It has the potential for having serious impact, and therefore I understand the valuation to some extent. But here is the CEO himself saying, the trust people have in AI, baffles me sometimes. But yet people are ignoring that and trusting AI, right? So there is going to be a pushback, I think, that's going to happen. I think there is already some value that has been creation. So AI is not going to go away.
Okay.
But when we look at business applications today, it's still to prove the real return on investment there.
Right.
And so we'll have to be very careful. I think what has happened is AI has become a great tool in the hands of people who don't understand it. And then those people are going and implementing things incorrectly. And so we are going to get a pushback at some point. Right? But it's still a fantastic tool, and we can talk about that.
No, जब आपने बोला that the valuation is coming from the potential, I think there are also reports when we talk about jobs also that a lot of companies are doing layoffs based on the potential that AI could bring in. And then we are also seeing rehiring जिन companies ने already कर दिया था. So what is your perspective on that? Because that is one very major fear, खासकर जब हम Gen Zs की बात करते हैं, because we are the people जिन्होंने भी workforce enter भी नहीं किया, and हमें बोला जाता है आपके लिए jobs बचेंगी ही नहीं. So that's a huge fear among our generation. So how would you, share your perspective on that?
I think the fear is valid. If you look at Ajay Bangaji, who's the president of the World Bank, he recently made a point that there are going to be 1.2 billion people seeking jobs very soon in the next decade or so.
Okay.
But there are going to be only 400 million jobs.
Right.
So you want to be trying to figure out what is it that makes you part of the 400 million that gets a job compared to the 800 million that doesn't. Right? Now, not all jobs are going to disappear because of AI. Right? There are all sorts of other reasons as well. But there are efficiencies that AI is creating, specifically in the software industry, where we're seeing ourselves, we are using AI as part of software development that we deliver to our customers. And we are seeing easily 30 to 40% of an uplift in our efficiency. Right? And that is the bottom end, right? I'm sure we will see that people are able to deliver the work of 2 to 3 people.
True.
So then definitely there are going to be less people required for this particular career. What we need to realize is technology in itself is not the solution that we need in the world, right? And so as a job seeker, you've got to learn how to use technology to your advantage. So any young person that is entering the job market has to realize that one of the biggest skills they're going to have is knowing how to use AI profitably. Right? And to use AI profitably means you have to be a critical thinker. You have to question AI. Right? There was this craze about, prompt engineering is a new career. That's a nonsense. Okay.
Yeah, we saw the wave come and go.
Yeah. I mean, when we looked at it, and I was looking at this and saying, yeah, right. I mean, there are YouTube ads all the time saying, आप क्या करते हो? And they say कि मैं AI करती हूँ, right? और करता हूँ. तो आपने कोई बड़ी फैंसी डिग्री करी होगी? नहीं, मैंने तो 1 दिन का कोर्स किया था प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग में, और आपकी सैलरी कितनी है? 25 लाख है. Nonsense. That's not happening. It's never going to happen, right? Because if something is that simple that you can teach it to somebody in a day
and earn 25 lakhs,
everybody's going to be able to do it, right? And there's a market demand for things and a supply, right? And they have to match, right? So prompt engineering itself is not going to be a career. Your careers are going to be there'll be new careers, but existing careers in accountancy, in finance, in marketing are going to require you to know how to leverage AI to be more efficient with what you are expected to do. Right? But at that time, if you start to outsource your thinking to AI, then again, everybody can do it. Where prompting is important is where you use your critical thinking. Right? अगर आप एक prompt लिखोगे जिसमें आप एक bias ला रहे हो, AI आपको आंसर देगा हाँ जी आप बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हो, बिल्कुल राइट। उसके बाद अगर आप ऑपोजिट बोलोगे कि नहीं मैं यहाँ ठीक नहीं कह रहा था, मैं तो ये समझता हूँ, ऑपोजिट, यू आर राइट, अमेजिंग, यू आर अमेजिंग, राइट, वैसे बात करता है वो। सो AI is going to get led by you, and if you don't ask it questions to push it back in what it's telling you, you're going to make mistakes. Right. So critical thinking is going to be important. Creativity is going to be important, right? The use of AI tools is going to be important. If you don't have these skills, you'll be out of a job. अब वो skills कहाँ से मिलते हैं? CBSE curriculum में तो ये चीजें नहीं हैं, right? So हमें अपनी education को redefine करना हो ताकि लोग इस पे ध्यान दें. Reading, being able to understand what you're reading. Right. जो चीजें हम भूल रहे हैं, क्यों? सोशल मीडिया के करके. सोशल मीडिया, while it has its advantages, has huge disadvantages. Right? We get distracted very quickly. We can't focus on things long enough, right? And these are going to be bigger problems than what AI is doing for you. Right. So try and address that. See social media also as a tool, and stop spending your life reducing the length of your thumb scrolling on your screen, is my view. Right. No,
I think that's absolutely correct, because the points that you made, that AI is always going to follow you, we see that happening. In fact, like, could be a tip also for the audience, हम लोग अपने students, what we do is हम एक AI का आंसर दूसरे टूल पे डाल के तीसरे टूल पे डाल के validate करते हैं, then we see which one is better, what points are correct,
Right.
So, but the point being, I would say still I am at a privileged place जहाँ पे मेरी education में वो skills included हैं. I would like to come to that point. जैसे if I'm being in Singapore government has already laid out an AI plan कि हम अपने workers को कैसे AI train करने वाले हैं. How are we going to match the job creation problem that is there? We see the same things happening in UAE as well. Are we seeing similar patterns in India? Because from the government, and if there are not, what can we do?
If you believe the media, yes, of course we have plans in place, right? But I think a lot of what we are doing is checkboxing. Oh yeah, we have a plan. The implementation of that plan, nobody's checking on. Okay. Right? That implementation isn't happening. We have a great new education policy.
Right.
But how are we going to implement it when we haven't trained our teachers in it? The teachers are used to unit tests every month.
Right.
How are they going to get out of that system if they have been spinning on that wheel for so long, right? They don't understand what it is to try and evaluate students in ways other than recalling information.
Right.
Recall is the least important skill that we have. Ratta, we are done with. AI has greater ratta capabilities.
Exactly.
उसने तो पूरे इंटरनेट को रट लिया ना, तो वो तो कोई भी ह्यूमन बीइंग नहीं कर सकता.
Exactly.
So that's out of the question. So yes, policies are created on the ground. I see little change.
Okay.
We have been running Sabudh Foundation now since 2018.
Okay.
Where we have been training people in AI and machine learning. All of these kids come from second and third tier institutions, engineering institutions. वहाँ पे हमने देखा है कि कंप्यूटर साइंस की डिग्री करके लोग आ रहे हैं जिनको कंप्यूटर का कुछ नहीं पता. So this is the reality of our situation, and what keeps me up at night is the fact कि हम कहते तो हैं कि India has the demographic advantage. किस चीज का demographic advantage when you don't have skills?
Right. I mean, it's on us कि हम वो demographic asset बनाएं, वरना वो liability ही है.
नहीं, और प्रॉब्लम तो ये है ना कि we can't just leave it on you. Yes, of course you have to be self-driven, but you grew up in a city.
Yeah.
You had exposures that other kids who are growing up in villages don't have.
Right.
And villages queue, people from non-professional backgrounds, children, have no clue what the world is about. They are the ones who are going to be worst placed in tomorrow's future. और उनके लिए तो भगवान मालिक.
No, but like Sarabjot Foundation, you're doing these initiatives.
But we are training 500 kids a year. We are talking about 1.2 billion people in the world. So this is not even a drop in the ocean.
One more question about the AI aspect that I have, because you are also into social entrepreneurship and doing good, and in terms of AI there are also ethical concerns that exist. How do you see that coming into the picture? This was one conference where I actually had a debate, okay, and I was on the team कि नहीं, innovation social से ज़्यादा fast नहीं चल रही है, कि AI तो 75 years पहले से the research is happening,
sure,
but laws अभी तक नहीं picture में आए हैं. So it's not that AI is very fast, it's probably our systems are slow to catch up with it. But then how do you see these things, and when do you see these things coming into the picture? Because AI suicides का cause show हो रहा है, ethical concerns आ रहे हैं, society उसे map कब और कैसे कर सकती है?
So concerns तो बहुत हैं, right? और like you said, laws are lagging behind.
Yeah.
People are working on laws. Europe has got an AI Act now.
Okay.
Right? India has the DPDPA, which is the Data Protection Act. And why is that related to AI? Because AI learns from experiences just like humans do. What are AI's experiences? Data that we are feeding it.
Yeah.
Right? So what is that data? Is it copywritten? Should it be allowed to be used? These are all questions that are now being asked. Publishers are asking that, Anthropic, OpenAI, all of these guys are in court for these issues, right? And the problem is exactly what you said. Law is lagging well behind technology innovation. And it always has. I mean, even if we look today at the world and nuclear technology, for example, right? Great technology with great benefits, electricity for the universe.
Right.
But at the same time, one bomb can kill hundreds of thousands of people. Now, how have we tried to manage that technology? A few countries that have nuclear weapons are holding the world to hostage, saying, no, you're not good enough to have a nuclear weapon.
Right.
It's, you're not ethical enough. AI is going the same way. Who has created the AI? Who are the companies that you know of?
OpenAI,
Anthropic, Google.
Yeah.
They're American companies. The people running them are not elected representatives of any people, right? You then have Mistral in France.
Okay.
France and Germany have already said the only AI we're going to use is Mistral.
I think similar with DeepSeek.
DeepSeek is China.
Yeah.
Right? Quen is China. There are basically 3 countries that rule AI today. The 3 that we've just talked about. We are all dependent on AI. We are bringing AI into even making decisions in courts and all sorts of things. Tomorrow we have a disagreement with America and they say, I'm not going to give you my AI. What are we going to do? So we are going to be held by these 3 countries that are doing all the innovation in AI unless we start to create our own models. Now, there is Sarvam AI and so on initiatives in India. Sovereign AI, as we call it, is starting to appear. But what most people don't realize is that AI is just as biased as a human being. You have your ethical framework that is defined by your parents, by your friends, by the school, society that surrounds you.
Right.
That is why your ethical framework is very different from somebody from a village in Tamil Nadu, for example, right? AI is biased based on the data that it's been fed. Data that has been fed to AI is all Western, industrialized nations.
Right.
There's a term called the weird user, right? Which is now used, which is Western, educated, industrialized, and so on and so forth. Democratic is D, R I am forgetting right now, right? But this is a term that is being used in technology innovation that talks about the fact that technology, because it is primarily being invented in the West, is being built for the West.
Right.
We sitting here are duplicating and using that technology, not realizing that it does not have the same ethical framework as us.
True.
I hate to use this word, but it's potentially another form of imperialism that is coming our way, where the world is now going to be thinking that Western methods are better than ours. And now, not only that, AI is changing what we understand of ourselves.
Yes.
And that is a real concern, right? I'll give you an example. AI generates text. Some people understand that, most people don't know that. So when people use AI, there are a lot of people now who don't understand Gurbani, because Punjabi unhanu aandi nahi.
Right.
They don't engage with the Guru Granth Sahib. Questions honde ne, ethics they'll ask.
Yeah.
Maybe because they are from a Sikh family, they'll say, give me some quotes from what Gurbani says about this. AI generates fake Gurbani. That fake Gurbani, because people are using it because they're outsourcing their thinking to AI, they are printing that and putting it up as posters.
Okay.
Even in Gurdwaras in Delhi,
My God.
we are seeing fake Gurbani. Who's doing anything about it? Nobody is doing anything about it. Now, recently, the SGPC set up a committee for AI
Okay.
to try and look at how we can deal with these AI companies. I'm part of that committee.
Okay.
But do they have an understanding? No, they don't. Are they giving us enough power to do what has to be done? Not really. Right? And this is true not just for Sikhism. Right? For us, Gurbani is the Guru. So for us, our Guru Granth Sahib is in some ways even more important than any other religion.
True.
Right? But it is true of any religious text, any religious thought process, because we have not invested in feeding that information to AI. AI is happily creating its own understanding of it, and we are going to lose our ethical frameworks if we blindly use AI.
But then, even if we are creating, like you said, sovereign AI models, to make them actually follow our ethical framework, we need to have all the data setups and everything also
Absolutely.
within India.
Absolutely. Great point, right? And I can tell you that even back in probably around 2005, a small country called Slovenia, which a lot of people haven't even heard of, it's in Eastern Europe, couple of million people.
Right.
The government set up a committee to create digital content in Slovene.
Okay.
So they went and translated all of Wikipedia into Slovene, to the extent that even today there is more Slovene digital data than even Hindi, right? They have been that forward thinking, whereas we have only started in the last couple of years creating digital corpuses of content, and that too in only the major languages.
Right.
Right? And this is a scary thing for minority communities of any kind.
Right.
Right? Not just religious minority communities.
It could be caste, languages,
Adivasis, whatever, right? They won't exist in the future because everybody is interacting with AI, and they're hearing from AI that there is no such thing as another Adivasi or what their
existence
way of life is. And so it's scary for many reasons, and I think the ethical pieces are very worrying. And I don't think enough is being done to address those, because companies make profit.
Exactly, Sam Altman, he has even said that I think AI is going to end the world, and in that time we're going to make profits. And I think that's the thing, we don't really know what's going to happen. We're just riding the wave maybe. And while my aim was to kind of address those ethics, I think I'm more concerned now.
And we should be, right? And actually researchers that understand AI have been raising these concerns for a long time. So maybe even 10 years ago, there was a movie created
Okay.
called The Slaughter Bots.
Okay.
On YouTube, you can go and watch it. It talked about small drones that could be smaller than your palm, that at high speed could do face recognition.
Okay.
They had learned to move in random directions so that they don't get shot down. They also carried a small amount of explosives. They landed on the face of the person, on the forehead of the person whose face had been shown to them as their target, and release a small amount of that explosive that drills a hole through their brain, through their skull, and destroys their brain. Right? And of course, they go into this whole thing of, for $1 million, you could buy a plane load of these drones. And they had this kind of course, fake scene created on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., where the bad guys get access to these and send them into Capitol Hill to kill everybody in the US Parliament, right? Now, if you look at the war that's happening today, drone attacks are the major weapons that are being used.
Right.
And destroying infrastructure worth billions of dollars. So that kind of fake scenario that was created 10 years ago, we are already seeing it happen today, right? The targeting of individuals. So we've got to be ethical, we've got to understand these ethical considerations, and we've got to work towards creating laws that protect, but it's a very difficult problem. You know, even if somebody wanted to do it, there's always a bad actor, right? That will say, I won't. And then to protect against the bad actor, you're going to develop your own.
Yeah, true.
So what is the best way for a country to protect itself? It's to build a nuclear weapon today. Right? So you're actually pushing countries. That's how India and Pakistan decided to make their nuclear weapons, right? Because they were first being held hostage, and now they went and built them.
Yeah.
Now Iran is talking about doing the same thing, right? And other countries are going to do the same, because that's the only way to not be attacked
Yes.
by people who don't understand your culture.
One question जो आपकी I would say personal journey के ऊपर है, not the technicalities जो हमने discuss की हैं. You mentioned कि आप UK से वापस India आए, and that's when you know आप वापस industry में गए. But I want to know what made you choose the reverse migration? मतलब usually people who go abroad, they don't really want to come back. So why? What was the reason, and how did that transition happen?
Okay, so most of my life, I think God decided I'm a bad decision maker. And so God made the choices for me. When I left India, I had no plans to come back. And I got my citizenship in England as well. And, you know, I was a career professor at the University of Warwick. I could have stayed there quite happily. But life takes interesting turns, right? And I was married at the time to a lady who wanted to follow her career in music. And I decided to support that. So I came back to support that. We had 2 children at the time, and well, the career in music didn't go anywhere, and nor did our marriage. So that's how I ended up here. This isn't something I talk about, but you know, I think it's important to realize that failures need to be taken as opportunities to learn. The great thing that happened since then is I met somebody else, and I'm very happily married now. I have 3 children. And 2 of them are the ones that came from England with me. So it's not quite you know, the answer you were expecting कि मैं भारत माता के लिए वापस आया हूँ kind of thing. पर यहाँ आके जो मैंने देखा कि इंडिया ने तरक्की करी है. There's definitely more opportunities for education, better education. लोगों के पास पैसे और आ गए. तो इसलिए हमारे बच्चे बाहर जा रहे हैं ज़्यादा पढ़ने के लिए. जब मैं गया था तो कम ही थे हम जो जाते थे. अब ज़्यादा जा रहे हैं. पर कहीं मुझे लगता है कि जो इंडिया का सोल था ना, वो कहीं उलझ के कहीं और चला गया. जो सोल इंडिया का था, जहाँ पे हमने कभी सोचा ही नहीं कि हम हिंदू हैं, मुस्लिम हैं, सिख हैं. हमें उतनी खुशी गालिब के गज़लों में आती थी जितनी कि हमें प्रेमचंद की कहानियों में आती थी। अब वो सोल कहीं चला गया। सो तरक्की एक तरीके से हुआ है कि पैसे ज्यादा आ गए लोगों के हाथों में, पर वो भूल गए वो कौन है।
Do you think this is my opinion, okay? I do feel a lot of developed economies are the same, soulless.
Absolutely.
People are more isolated, communities nahi hai.
Absolutely.
So do you think India mein also the reason is just that we are becoming developed and it's the same
This is not
path?
development, this is degrading ourselves. Right? We're going the opposite direction. See, whenever you look at any people, I was in Ireland, for example.
Okay.
Right? In Ireland, I actually started to teach Irish dancing after learning it.
Oh wow, okay.
Even though I looked the way I do, right? And at the same time, I did not take up things, absorb things that I thought weren't in line with my ethical framework. So every community has something amazing about it.
True.
If you truly want to grow, take what's good, leave behind what's not. And that includes your own community. So I think development can come without becoming selfish. And I think selfishness has increased in India substantially. So to me, take what's great about the education system. The education system in the West promotes asking questions.
Yeah.
In India, the moment a child is born, चपेड़ मारो and say बड़ों के सामने बात नहीं करते.
True.
You get into school, the teacher says, चुप कर, question नहीं पूछना. मैंने पढ़ाना है. The child is going to learn nothing.
Right.
If you keep lecturing the child. And that's why we are in the situation we are in. In England, even from another Sikh family, in fact, my friend who was born and brought up there, he taught me an amazing thing.
Okay.
If we had gone to his house and were speaking about something and his little nephew would come into the drawing room and start talking to him, he would stop the conversation and listen and focus on the child. I learned that from him and tried to implement it for my children at least. And for any child that I come across. Right? That's a great thing to pick up. That
True.
gives the child confidence that I matter. We make people grow up with the belief you don't matter. That's why they don't matter. And then the politicians do the same thing.
Yeah.
You don't matter, yeah. Here is 100 rupees or a bottle of whiskey, pay, vote for me.
Yeah.
And they're fine to do that.
Yeah. It's like you're just a part of the number.
Absolutely. Right? So learn from societies, improve yourself. That's true education. Education is not going to school and studying till class 12th, getting into the rat race of a university and finishing a degree in a subject that is not interesting to you. It's because your mom and dad told you that that's the career for you. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is India had this framework of diversity.
Right.
And celebrating that diversity. And looking after your own people. And own meant your whole country.
Yeah.
Right? That is lost. And if we call that development, I don't want that development. Because society is broken in the West. Most people don't talk to each other. Brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, nobody talks to each other. Communities are broken.
Yeah.
Is that development? Are we going to say India is developed because all the parents, grandparents are now living in old age homes? I don't think so.
True. Thank you so much
You're most
for
welcome.
sharing these insights. I don't think such deep thoughts are, brought by everybody. People don't even think in these directions most of the time. So you've got that. Thank you so much. And
Most
before we wrap up this video, I would like you to share one message for our viewers. It's like a ritual on our podcast, and it could be about anything, but one message.
You've got to learn forever. As an Indian, we have grown up with this idea that there are stages to our lives where we are a kid, then we're a student, then we are a family person, and then we go and live the rest of our lives till we die in some mountainous region or some forest. Forget that. It's not happening anymore. You have to be a student for life. From the day you are born to the day you die, you have to keep reinventing yourself because technology is going to change the world so fast.
Yeah.
And you have to be your agent. for learning, because you're the only one who cares about you.
Thank you so much. I'm sure my audience has got a lot of insights from this video. Please share it with your friends and your families, people who are particularly in our kind of an age group, entering the workforce, thinking and dealing with AI a lot more. And if there are any more questions, feel free to put them in the comments and we will address them. Do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next episode.